Nissan had a good thing going in the late 1980s and early 1990s, but many of its coolest creations were never officially offered for sale in the United States. You've got hero cars like the Skyline GT-R, balanced sports machines like the Silvia, and even the rugged patrol SUV. And all of them have their partisans, but few have captured enthusiast attention like the so-called Pike Factory cars, the S-Cargo, the BE1, the Pau and the Figaro. These were retro cars done right, years before we would see the likes of the PT Cruiser and Chevrolet SSR. Relatively affordable and pocket size, though not as small as Japan's K cars, they were also limited edition. Production of the Figaro, which we examined in the February 25, 1991 issue of Auto Week, was limited to just 20,000 cars. That number was actually supposed to be just 8,000, but demand for the cute convertible was overwhelming. Even with a boosted production, it was more or less an instant collector's item coveted around the world, even though they were only sold in Japan. Though we compared the Figaro's dimensions to those of the Geo Metro, also known as the Suzuki Cultus, it was more or less a Nissan Micra, called the March in the Japanese market, under its skin. That means it's a front driver with a 987cc inline-4 under the hood, hooked up to a 3-speed automatic, no Micra-spec 5-speed manual here. Output is respectable, for its era, and the car's size, 76 horsepower and 78 pounds ft. Figaro's found an eager audience in the United Kingdom, where grey market importation is more straightforward and the right-hand drive setup makes perfect sense, but they've also eagerly snapped up by US buyers since they turned 25 years old and became legal to bring into the country. If you're interested in a Figaro, we know where you can find 1 or 2, or 100, right here in the States. Duncan Imports.
Nissan will show a number of exciting concept cars and production vehicles at this year's Tokyo Motor Show, giving customers a glimpse of the company's newest and future innovations, including the Leaf Nismo concept. TNI's new concept model that embodies the future of Nissan intelligent mobility will be among the highlights of the vehicles on display. The Nissan Leaf Nismo concept car, the performance-oriented Serena Nismo and an updated Skyline will also debut at the show. In all, Nissan plans to display 13 vehicles. The Nismo concept version of the new Leaf has a sporty new exterior designed by Nismo, Nissan's motorsports and in-house tuning division. The application of Nismo racing technology to the car's body results in enhanced aerodynamic performance and less lift, without sacrificing the Leaf's excellent drag coefficient. The black interior features Nismo's signature red accents, creating an exciting, high-performance feel. On the road, the Leaf Nismo concept offers a truly exciting drive. This is thanks to a sport-tuned suspension and high-performance tires, not to mention a custom-tuned computer that delivers instant acceleration at all speeds. The Leaf Nismo concept combines the environmentally friendly character of an electric car with the exciting driving experience that's always been a hallmark of the brand.
For family hatchback buyers bored of the humdrum, the crossover sector has been a revelation. Invented by Nissan with the cash cow a decade ago, it's been on the up ever since, with no end of rivals to the groundbreaking Nissan cropping up. One of them, the Cita Chica, even managed to usurp the second-generation cash cow as the king of the crossovers. So for 2017, Nissan's fighting back, with an extensive midlife facelift which aims to reassert its status at the top of the bulging crossover pile. As most people still choose diesel in this sector, we've pitted the most economical versions of each against one another. Despite similar power outputs, the 1.6-liter TDI in the seat proves a second faster from 0-60 mph than the 1.5-liter DCI Nissan, and this extra performance makes it feel more relaxing in everyday use. It pulls better if you let the revs drop too, so you don't have to change gear as much. This is ironic, because the Etica's gear change is nice and crisp. The Qashqai, which needs much more gear changing, has a ponderous action. The Nissan is quieter under acceleration, although this advantage is lost when it comes to high-speed cruising, thanks to the Etica's better wind isolation. The Nissan has a smoother ride, which passengers will prefer, as it means bumps become far less noticeable. The Etica corners better though, with less body roll and faster steering. The Qashqai sways more in corners, which those passengers might find a bit disconcerting. Practical, comfortable interiors are essential crossover fare and both deliver here. They have multi-adjust driver's seats and steering wheels, although the Etica will let people find a slightly more perfect setup than the Qashqai. Its controls feel more solid too, but the Qashqai's interior looks classier, with nicer trims on the doors and dashboard. Another crossover must-have is a commanding driving position and, again, the Etica edges the Qashqai here. Its higher roof means you can position the seats higher up. This doesn't help when reversing though, due to the thick rear pillars. You get sensors as standard, but the Qashqai aces it with a combination of better visibility and a superb 360-degree reversing camera. Pity it's part of a disappointing-looking 7.0-inch infotainment screen, which seems below par these days. It doesn't even have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which are fitted as standard to the Etica SE Technology's bright, crisp 8.0-inch screen. The difference is like night and day. Rear space is similar in both. The Qashqai leads the legroom race, with the Etica bettering it for headroom and overall amount of glass. The light and airy feel this gives significantly helps the feeling of space. The seat has a big boot too, with its 510-liter capacity and practical shape taking 8 of our test carry-on suitcases. The 430-liter boot on the Nissan could only take 6 cases. All of this makes prices something of a surprise. Again, the Etica has an advantage here, of £1,200 on paper and probably much more once you start haggling. It has better retained values too. The Nissan both costs more and will lose more, and is also the pricier model to service. Add it all up and, after 3 years, the Etica will cost you £4,000 less. That's an enormous advantage. It is partly reversed if you're a company car driver, though. The lower CO2 emissions of the Qashqai mean fleet drivers will pay £500 less in tax over 3 years. Their businesses will spend less on fuel as well. What should not be in doubt is our top pick here. The Seat Etica continues to be the best crossover you can buy. The Nissan Qashqai may have invented the sector, and the firm may have invested big in this midlife facelift, but it's not enough. The strengths of the seat continue to give it the edge, making it unquestionably still the best small SUV on the market.
Has history ever taken your breath away? This one caught us by surprise because the Subaru BRZ was one of the first articles ever posted here on Autofluence. The model year 2013 was an introduction of 2 cars that shook up the automotive world. Toyota and Subaru worked together to develop the Scion FRS and the Subaru BRZ. Scion may not be around anymore, but Subaru is still building these compact sports cars. In the meantime, we spent a week with an automatic Scion FRS back in 2013. The only real differences between the brands are in styling and tire width, so think Camaro versus Firebird. Several updates over the last few years have allowed the 2017 Subaru BRZ to offer a great blend of sport and style, but how does it feel in a daily driver scenario? Our press car for the week arrived with a 6-speed manual and a 2.0-liter flat 4. We're no stranger to the engine, as it was the power for our wide-open Baja excursion 2 weeks ago. Instead of peak power or a broad torque curve, these tiny tykes offer a smooth response from idle to 7,400 RPMs. At your command will be 200 horsepower and 151 pounds-ft of torque. In order to compete on the modern stage, The transmission has very close ratios and the differential has 4.10 gears. First gear is almost 3.71, which makes it feel like a granny low. If you don't like shifting, this isn't the car for you. The left pedal is not overly heavy, but the clutch engagement point is anything but consistent. Not only is the flywheel very light, the engine itself has featherweight pistons and rods. You won't win any drag races in stock form, sorry. But if you challenge them to a road course, the BRZ comes alive. You are probably expecting meaty rubber in staggered sizes. You might be shocked to find 4 215/45/17 tires. They may be only 8 wide, but they work perfectly with the SAC suspension. Even Miata owners have to recognize the potency of the torsion differential. With such a low center of gravity, the BRZ never complains in the corners. Does it need more power? Of course, but daily driving is rewarding for any motoring enthusiast. Fully loaded, the BRZ will set you back just over $30,000. It doesn't break the bank, and the residual value to sports car enthusiasts makes a purchase or lease a smart move. Stay with us for all your Subaru and Toyota news and reviews.